Beloved people, listen to me carefully. I am not here to impress you with words. I am here to awaken something that has been sleeping inside you. I am here to speak to your spirit, not just to your ears. Many people want greatness, but very few are willing to live the life that produces it. Many people admire legacy, but they avoid the process that gives birth to it. Today, I am not talking about comfort. I am talking about responsibility. I am not talking about applause. I am talking about obedience. I am not talking about what feels good now. I am talking about what will speak for you long after you are gone. Legacy is not built in public. Legacy is built in private. What people celebrate later is what you sacrificed earlier. What generations will call greatness tomorrow is what you are calling discipline today. Nobody stumbles into legacy. Legacy is intentional. Legacy is costly. Legacy demands that you say no when everyone else is saying yes, and say yes when everyone else is saying no. Small sacrifices look insignificant when you are making them, but they become powerful when time gives them a voice. Waking up early to pray when nobody sees you. Choosing integrity when compromise would be easier. Remaining faithful when quitting would be applauded. Serving when you could be celebrated. These are the seeds of legacy. You don't plant a tree today and sit under its shade tomorrow. You plant knowing that others may enjoy what you watered with tears. Many people are asking God for a future, but they are neglecting today. They want tomorrow's greatness without today's discipline. They want tomorrow's crown without today's cross. But hear me clearly, the future is not created by wishes. It is created by choices. Every small decision you make today is voting for the kind of future you will live in tomorrow. Greatness does not arrive suddenly. It announces itself quietly through consistency. It whispers through habits. It grows through obedience. What you repeatedly do in secret is shaping what will eventually stand in public. If your private life is weak, your public life will eventually collapse. If your private sacrifices are strong, your public impact will be undeniable. Let me tell you something many people don't like to hear. God often hides greatness inside inconvenience. He wraps destiny inside responsibility. He conceals promotion inside preparation. When you complain about the pressure, you may be rejecting the process that is producing your strength. When you despise the small assignment, you may be insulting the doorway to your next level. Some of you are frustrated because life feels slow. But slowness is not denial. Delay is often development. God is more interested in who you are becoming than what you are achieving. Achievement without character is a disaster waiting to happen. Success without substance becomes a curse. That is why the process matters. That is why the sacrifice matters. Look at the people who finish well. They are not the ones who rushed. They are the ones who remained faithful when nobody was clapping. They are the ones who kept their values when nobody was watching. They are the ones who allowed discipline to outlast excitement. Excitement fades, but discipline sustains. Legacy living means you stop asking, what do I want now? And start asking, what will matter later? It means you stop living only for yourself and start living with generations in mind. It means you understand that your obedience today may answer a prayer someone else will pray tomorrow. Every time you choose patience over anger, you are building legacy. Every time you choose truth over convenience, you are building legacy. Every time you choose faithfulness over popularity, you are building legacy. These choices may not trend, They may not go viral. They may not be celebrated. But heaven records them, and time will reveal them. Do not underestimate the power of staying faithful, staying humble, staying obedient. Many people fail not because they were attacked, but because they abandoned their assignment. They left too early. They gave up too soon. They traded destiny for relief. But legacy requires endurance. It requires the ability to stand when nothing seems to be happening. You see, greatness is not loud at the beginning. It is quiet. It is unseen. It is misunderstood. People may mock your discipline. They may question your choices. They may not understand why you refuse certain shortcuts. But they don't have to understand. They are not the ones who will carry the weight of your future. If you want a future that speaks well of you, you must speak well with your actions today. Your life is preaching even when your mouth is silent. Your choices are teaching even when you are not aware. Someone is learning courage from your endurance. Someone is learning integrity from your restraint. Someone is learning faith from your consistency. Do not live as if today is all that matters. Today is important, but it is not everything. Today is a seed. Tomorrow is a harvest. And harvests are never accidental. They respond to what was planted. Sometimes God will ask you to sacrifice things that are not sinful, but they are distracting. Not everything you are allowed to do is beneficial to your destiny. Maturity is knowing what to let go of, even when it is comfortable. Growth is choosing purpose over pleasure. Legacy is choosing obedience over options. I know it is not easy. Sacrifice is uncomfortable by nature. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But understand this temporary discomfort is better than permanent regret. It is better to endure the pain of discipline than to suffer the pain of disappointment. There are people who will celebrate you later, who may not support you now. There are people who will quote you later, who may criticize you now. There are people who will benefit from your sacrifices, who may never know your struggles. And that is okay. Legacy is not built for applause. It is built for impact. When you live for legacy, you stop competing with people. You start completing your assignment. You stop comparing journeys. You start committing to purpose. Comparison distracts, but purpose focuses. Stay focused. Small sacrifices have a way of accumulating power. One prayer may feel small. One act of kindness may feel small. One day of discipline may feel small. But over time, these small acts become a strong foundation that cannot be shaken. Storms reveal foundations. When pressure comes, what you have been building in secret will determine whether you stand or fall. Do not despise the days when you are unseen. Those days are shaping your strength. Do not curse the seasons of silence. Those seasons are teaching you to hear clearly. Do not reject the moments of loneliness. They are teaching you dependence. Legacy living means you understand that your life is bigger than your lifetime. That what you do today can outlive you. That your obedience can become a shelter for others. That your faithfulness can open doors for generations you may never meet. When you stand before God, you will not be asked how popular you were. You will not be asked how comfortable you were. You will be asked how faithful you were. Faithfulness is the currency of legacy. I want you to leave here with this understanding burning in your heart. Nothing you sacrifice for the right reason is ever wasted. Heaven does not forget. Time does not erase. God does not overlook obedience. What you lay down in obedience, God lifts up in purpose. So when it is hard, Remember why you started. When it is lonely, remember who you are becoming. When it is slow, remember what is being built. You are not just living for now, you are building for later. You are not just surviving. You are shaping something that will speak long after your voice is silent. Choose discipline today so tomorrow can choose you. Choose obedience today so the future can trust you. Choose sacrifice today so greatness will recognize you when the time comes. Stand strong. Stay faithful. Keep sowing. Keep believing. Keep obeying. Because today's small sacrifices are quietly constructing tomorrow's greatness. And when that greatness finally stands, it will not be an accident, it will be evidence. Listen to me carefully. One life, just one life, not a crowd, not a movement, not a nation. One life that decides to obey can alter the destiny of generations that have not yet been born. This is the mystery of obedience. It never stops with the one who practices it. Obedience is never private. It may begin in secret, but its consequences are always public. When one life aligns with divine instruction, the ripple effect travels through bloodlines, through timelines, through futures that the obedient person may never physically witness. Many people think obedience is about rules, but obedience is about alignment. It is about positioning yourself correctly so that what flows through you is not contaminated. When one life chooses obedience, that life becomes a channel. And whatever flows through a clean channel does not end with the channel. It reaches others. That is why disobedience is dangerous. Disobedience blocks not only you, but those connected to you. Obedience does the opposite. It opens doors that others walk through effortlessly. You may think you are only obeying for yourself, but you are wrong. Your obedience is speaking to your children before they are born. Your obedience is negotiating battles your grandchildren will never have to fight. Your obedience is breaking patterns that have repeated for generations. One obedient decision can silence a curse that has been loud for decades. Look at how patterns move through families. Patterns of anger, patterns of poverty, patterns of fear, patterns of brokenness. Patterns don't break because someone complained. Patterns break because someone obeyed. Someone decided it stops with me. Someone decided I will do what is right even if it costs me. That moment of obedience becomes a turning point in history. Even if nobody announces it, obedience is often quiet. It doesn't make noise. It doesn't demand recognition. It simply aligns, and alignment attracts grace. When a life is aligned, heaven trusts it. And when heaven trusts a life, it deposits responsibility. That responsibility becomes a covering for others. People connected to you may not even know why doors open for them easily, but they are benefiting from your obedience. Some of you underestimate the weight of your decisions. You think your choices are small, but they are seeds. Seeds don't look like forests, but forests come from seeds. When you choose obedience in finances, you are not just securing your present, you are protecting future generations from lack. When you choose obedience in integrity, you are teaching generations how to walk without shame. When you choose obedience in faithfulness, you are giving your lineage stability. Disobedience is selfish, but obedience is generational. Disobedience says, I want relief now. Obedience says, I want impact later. And impact always outlives comfort. Comfort expires quickly, but impact travels far. That is why obedience often feels heavy. You are not just carrying your own future, you are carrying the future of others. Sometimes God will ask you to obey in ways that don't make sense to your logic. That is because obedience is not about understanding. It is about trust. Understanding looks at now. Trust looks beyond now. When you obey without full understanding, you are declaring that you trust the one who sees the end from the beginning. And that trust invites divine intervention into timelines you cannot calculate. You may not see immediate rewards for obedience, and that is where many people fail. They obey once, twice, and when nothing dramatic happens, they return to their old ways. But obedience is cumulative. It builds, it stacks, it compounds. One obedient act may not change everything, but a life of obedience shifts atmospheres. It changes what is normal. It changes what is possible. There are battles you are not fighting today because someone before you obeyed. There are opportunities you have access to because someone else paid a price. In the same way, there will be victories others enjoy because of you. Obedience transfers advantage. It creates spiritual inheritance. One life choosing obedience can invite favor into a family line, favor that cannot be explained by qualifications, favor that cannot be traced to effort alone, favor that shows up at the right time, in the right place, through the right people. That favor is not random. It is stored obedience being withdrawn at the appointed time. Obedience also trains the heart. A heart trained in obedience becomes sensitive. It hears warnings early. It discerns danger before it arrives. That sensitivity protects not just the individual, but everyone connected to them. When one life becomes spiritually alert, many lives become safer. Some people are praying for generational blessings while living in daily disobedience. That prayer contradicts itself. Generational blessing flows through obedience, not wishes. What you permit today may imprison others tomorrow. What you resist today may liberate others tomorrow. Obedience does not always look spiritual. Sometimes it looks like consistency. Sometimes it looks like restraint. Sometimes it looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like staying when leaving would be easier. Sometimes it looks like living when staying would be more comfortable. But heaven recognizes obedience even when people misunderstand it. When one life chooses obedience, it creates a reference point in the spirit. Darkness recognizes it. Heaven recognizes it. Systems recognize it.